Hi guys, here are the answers to the review. Again, this is available on Westland Math. So, you know, watch it, but then please feel free to watch it again tonight to study for the test tomorrow. So the problems in this is just seeing if you understood when things are equivalent or not. So here, plus a -4, remember we change all minuses to plus a negative anyway. So these two are equivalent, that's yes. Here, you're going to have to do both these problems. So here you're doing negative times a positive times a negative. Here, there's two negatives as well. So both these answers are going to be positive. So let's see if we get the same answer. So when you multiply across on this one, you get 1 times 3 times 1, which is a positive 3. 2 times 1 times 4 is a positive, is a positive 8. So here you get a positive 3/8. These are all over 1. So when you multiply these across, you get 1 times 3 times 1 times, you get 3, positive 3. 1 times 1 times 2 times 4 is 8. So this is also, yes, these are equivalent because you both get 3/8. Here, I'm going to put the ones underneath the whole numbers. And when you multiply across, 5 times 1 times 6 is 30. 1 times 3 times 1 is 3. 30 over 3 is 10. This one, when you put the ones over all of them, you get, again, 30 over 3, which is 10. So this also is, yes, they are equivalent. Here, which of the following expressions are negative? So what you're doing is you're counting. If there's an even amount of negatives, it's going to be a positive answer. If there's an odd number of negatives, it's going to be a negative answer. So here there are 1, 2. There are 2 negatives, so this one's going to be positive. So it's not this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives. That's an odd number. So yes, this one is going to be negative. And here it's a multiplication problem, so the product is the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negatives. That's an odd number. That means yes, this is going to be negative. Here there's only 1. All the rest are positive. That's an odd number, so this one also will be negative. So for this problem, I would really have hoped that you would have drawn a picture. This is sea level right at 0. A dolphin's 3 meters below sea level, so your dolphin's right here at 1. So actually, I should have probably made a vertical number line. Here's 0, 1, 2. The dolphin's at -3. It jumps up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the question is, how much did it travel? So if you were to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The distance is actually 8. And I would say 8 feet. Here, which of the following are equivalent in y? So -5 minus 9. So this would be like plus a -9. So both the 5 and the 9 are negative. Here, when you have minus, minus, you change those both to plus. So here the 5 is positive and the 9 is negative. So no, these will not be equivalent because here they're both negative. Here, only one of them is negative. Same thing here, -4 plus a -3. Here is plus a -4. So in this problem, there you have a -4 plus a -3. And here all you did was switch them around, -3 plus -4. So this one, yes, these two would be equivalent. They're the same numbers, you're just switching them. Here you get -5 plus 4. So the 5 is negative, the 4 is positive. Here, when you change this to plus a negative, you get the 5 is negative and the 4 is positive. So these are actually the same thing. It's just switched around. But you're just making sure the 5 is negative, the 5 is negative, the 4 is positive, the 4 is positive. So yes, this one, they are equivalent. Here I'm going to do this problem for you. So first of all, I'm going to change it to plus a negative. I'm going to do the fractions first. Common denominator is 12. You get times 3 times 3, -3 plus times 4 times 4, -8, which gets you a -11/12. Next, we're going to have to bring down this to multiply because you got to multiply next. When you multiply, I'm going to multiply across. You get positive 33 over 48 because 4 times 12 is 48. -3 times -11 is a positive 33. And last, I'm going to add a half. So common denominator, 48. This one already has a 48, so I'm going to leave it as 33. plus, now you have to multiply times 24 to get 48. 24. So now that I have a common denominator, I'm just going to keep the denominator the same because I'm adding. 33 plus 24 is 57 over 48. So that's an answer. However, I would much rather you have it goes in one time with, I believe, 9 left over, because you get 57 minus 48 is 9 48ths. And there's your better answer. Here, 3 minus 1/4, it's 3 over 1. So you get, actually, if you make the denominator 4, you're going to get 12/4 minus 1/4, which is 11/4. Then I'm going to bring down the 1/5 to multiply. You get 1 times 11 is 11. 5 times 4 is 20. Next, I got to do minus 2/3. Common denominator. Let's see. I could get them both to be 60. So if I get them both to be 60, this is plus a negative 2/3. So this would be a negative times 20 times 20. It would be a negative 40/60ths. Plus, this would be times 3 times 3, 33. And you get a negative 7/60ths, because 33 plus negative 40. And last, I have, and let me go over here for a second, I have negative 7/60ths plus 0.25. So 0.25, remember, is 1/4, positive 1/4, negative 7/60ths. I believe I can get 4, I could get 4 to be into the 60 because it goes in times 15. So you get 15/60ths plus negative 7/60ths. Remember, when you're adding, keep the denominator the same. Negative and a positive, you got to subtract, and you get positive 8/60ths is your answer, which, by the way, could reduce, if you divide by 2, to 4/30ths. And if you divide by 2 again, you get 2/15ths. Any one of those answers would be great. And I'm going to just real quick go through the answer for this one. It's the same concept, so I'm not going to talk that much. Oh, sorry. I'll do it the way that you guys do it. 5 over 1 minus 1 over 2. So this, if I change this to a 2, it becomes 10 over 2. So multiply. 18/6 plus 2/5, common denominator, 30. Times 5 times 5, you get 90/30ths, plus times 6 times 6, 12, which gets you, don't add the denominators, 112/30ths. Now, 0.5 is really 1/2, so when I add 1/2, okay, I'm going to do 112 over 30. I'm going to make the denominator 30 because half of 30 is 15. So I'm going to change 1/2 to 15/30ths. And my final answer, when I add them, they're both positive. So I'm just going to add them together. And I get 127/30ths. And by the way, if you're going, 30 goes into 127 4 times with a 7 left over 30. Here, remember, when you're dividing, you do need to make this into an improper fraction. You get 13/4 divided by 2/3. Remember, that means you do 13/4 times 3 over 2. You get 39 over 8, which simplifies. 8 goes into 39 4 times. You get 7/8 left over. Either one of these would work. Here you're adding, so we're going to separate the whole numbers. Negative 5 plus 3 gets me negative 2. Now I've got to add negative 1/2 plus positive 1/4, common denominator 4, times 2 times 2. You end up with, when you add them together, negative 1/4, which I can put together with the negative 2, and my final answer is negative 2 and 1/4.